Welcome back to the Wildlands. Take a second, reorient yourself in this fantasy world, and let the real world problems fall away and fall into the tremendous world-ending problems of this campaign. Are we even live? It looks like the stream is unstable.
Uh-oh.
What else is new?
I think we're live, yeah. Okay. So last time, you guys barely scraped through without anyone dying. It was really, really close to multiple deaths as you got caught out by a band of Iron Jaw orcs, orc bandits, mostly orcs, who had wandered up from the Iron Maw, I said Iron Jaw, I meant Iron Maw camp, and into the mountains there. You were ambushed. In fact, you found the bodies in the hunting lodge of the people who had followed you from all the way from Arkney. But you fought off the orcs. Barely. Taladar says, hey, hope all the Wildlands crew is doing well. Thank you for resubscribing 26 months. Thank you so much, Taladar. It's really encouraging. Keeps the stream going. After that, you managed to you lined the bodies up in the path. And said a few quick prayers over them. But you actually, the orcs, I mean. But you actually buried the other folk. You may hear my daughter occasionally in the background, either singing Disney songs or yelling other stuff. After that, you, the leader of the band, a guy titled Bloodmasher, escaped out the back of the hunting lodge. And we kind of sped through the end of the session, but you traveled a bit farther, and another day's travel with 3 successes. Looks like 1 fail. So you're here in the Cloud Summit Peaks. And the forest thick all around you. You can see the rough horizon line of the peaks in every direction. But occasionally, as you've been hiking wearily up and down these mountains, you've caught glimpses of the swamps spreading out from the foothills to the east. At this point, it is night, and you have made your camp. Are you making a fire? Check your character sheets. You are in the midst of the wilderness here in the mountains.
I feel pretty safe making a fire.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So you're gathered around your fire, which is lighting the trees and outlining the leaves of the clustered plants in orange, flickering. I'm going to ask that you mark off a day's worth of rations or other food, unless you have a note that you already did that. And if there are any in-character conversations you would like to start before going to sleep, now is the time. Okay. Go ahead and everyone roll me. I'm just going to assume that you're setting up watches. So go ahead and roll me a perception roll, everybody.
Okay.
Dumbo didn't open up her sheet. 1 second. That was the wrong P ability.
Akiri.
Everything's going to shit.
As everyone watches her.
That's very
She's
nice,
dancing.
Akiri, but I think we all just want to sleep.
It's a great performance roll.
Mercury, honestly, not bad.
Okay. Well. There it is.
Wow.
All right. It's a sleepy kind of night. The wind blows through the trees on the mountain slopes, making a peaceful whispering sound. And there isn't a lot of traffic, animal traffic, around your campsite. Every now and then you'll see a moth or some furry animal scuttles through the branches. But nothing alarming, nothing large. It's a pretty peaceful night. You sleep well, regain a charge on your items, refresh your health and your spells and other daily abilities, and wake up the next day. And you also regain 1 hit die. Taladar says, I think I heard some Frozen. Yes, I'm pretty sure she was lustily singing Let It Go back there. Perhaps you can hear that. Thanks to Kate for checking on Rose. By the way, we are down a Mavra tonight. She's not feeling well, so that's unfortunate. But we are soldiering on, as we just found out. Okay, guys. You wake up the next day. The sun peeks over the Cloud Summit Mountains, bathing the snow-dappled peaks in its dawn glow. You wake up pretty early, shake off the soreness that comes from sleeping outside a few nights. Roll up your bedrolls. What do you want to do?
I guess we probably want to hustle if we want to get to that sword wings thing.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
we really should.
little time to waste.
And let's be off.
Where are you headed?
We are headed south, I believe.
Okay. Orienting yourselves from the sun, you set off toward the south. A path with few roads of any kind, and fairly rough through the mountains here. But you will eventually start heading downward through foothills, and then into not just forest, but thick forest, even bordering on jungle. A place where the wind blows to the trees, constantly making them mutter and whisper. So go ahead and tell me who wants to jump in and tell me how you are going to help the party travel safely through the forested mountain and then the thick forest.
Vamos can go first. He's going to, we've still got our horses. And so Vapos is going to be kind of looking at the route ahead. If we're in particularly dense forest and kind of rocky terrain and stuff, the horses probably aren't going super fast. And so he probably, since we're kind of down a horse, he's probably going to range ahead a bit in order to try to pick a path that's safe for the horses to travel.
Nice. That will help. So is that a perception that you're going for? Or something else?
I was thinking probably perception or survival.
From
They're
your
the same for me.
description-
Doesn't really matter.
From your description, yeah, survival would make a lot of sense.
Okay. Nope. That's a 7.
Okay. So that's not going well.
Really hope I didn't just lame a horse.
Did you get a natural 1? No.
No.
A 7. The horses are not. They don't become lame. No. But unfortunately, some of Vapos's choices are questionable, and you end up having to traverse some pretty dicey terrain that's quite difficult for the horses. It involves, some scrambling over boulders, which is not ideal for the horses. Again, you are in rough territory. There are no maintained roads here. So the horses are really more of a hindrance than a help, especially when you're going over this rocky terrain that unfortunately Vapos has accidentally led you into. However, Vapos, you still get two temporary hit points. Nothing to sneeze at, considering that you were frequently at 1 hit point in the last fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's going to try to help you guys travel safely now?
Well, you know what? Since our horses are having such a hard time, and understandably, we kind of put them through a lot, I'm gonna step up and just carry a little bit more of the load that they might normally carry themselves.
Okay. Aiming for an athletics check?
That's what I was thinking, yes.
All right, so Bref, you take a couple of the saddlebags and just strap them on top. So you have this ridiculously large pack, or set of packs, just like strapped together and tied on. And you guys watch as Bref tries to go bounding amongst these boulders that the horses are struggling over. Go for it, Bref.
You know what? Because I always never use it, I'm using my inspiration.
Ooh! All right.
You know what? That was a mistake.
Oof. So, you guys are getting nothing but single-digit rolls here. This is going poorly. You guys are struggling. You notice a lot of the animals. There's like birds, mountain hawks, with these bright yellow and red tail feathers are taking flight from their roosts as you're disturbing them. And there's like a kind of a cloud of birds gathering overhead. You're really not traveling swiftly or quietly. But Breath still gets 2 temp HP.
Alright, I'll jump in with a performance check.
Actually, I just decided on a rule change. It's 4 temp HP now.
Cool.
So Vapos
Thank
and
you.
Breath both have 4 temp HP. Vela, jumping in, what are you trying to do?
So I'm gonna make a performance check. I'm gonna take the song that Akiri blessed us with last night and remix it.
Okay. But like in a kind way?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make it cool.
Alright. Oh my god.
Or I'm gonna roll a natural 1.
Well, what instrument are you using?
I'm just kind of doing that thing where you pop your finger in your mouth to make like a cork noise.
Wait, for real?
I mean, it's a natural 1.
Well, if you look at the magic item cards, of which you now have 17, you have an item that gives you advantage on all performance checks.
That's true, and I probably would be using that.
Ah. Alright. In that case, it's a 21.
Well, that's much better then.
Alright, 4 temp HP for you. So the everyone's feeling a bit down. Vapos is feeling bad because he led you guys into an area that's really bad for the horses. The horses are struggling. Their hooves, their shoes are getting kind of messed up. I don't know. Do you put shoes on horses when they're going over boulders? I don't actually know. Their hooves are getting messed up. None of them have gone lame, but still, it's rough. It's slow going. Breath feels foolish because he tried to take on extra weight and kind of slips. He bangs some stuff into a boulder as he slips a bit under the extra weight. It kind of is top heavy now, and he bends one of your little cooking pots that you travel with. So he's feeling pretty foolish. But then Bella lifts everyone's spirits. You can't help but smile at the comical mouth pop and harp playing combo that she does out of Akiri's song that she was praying with last night. So everyone feels a little bit better about it and doesn't feel so bad anymore. And that helps you travel better. So that's 4 temp HP for Bella. You need 2 successes or 1 fail, guys. What's it gonna be?
Alright, Akiri is going to hope she gets a better roll this time, and she's going to also scout ahead, but instead of looking for like a safer path for horses, she's going more for a just keeping an eye out for general trouble.
Okay. Go for it. Oh, better. Better than
Oh, thank
last
goodness.
night. All right. So, Akiri, you take off in the air, and you're scouting around, and you see that the path that you guys are as you're stumbling over these rocks, you see there's another path. There's like a dry creek bed, and you realize that it's gonna be a nasty kind of gully for you guys to traverse. And so you.
Oh yeah.
What just happened?
Nico's in a call with someone else. Sorry.
Okay. You tell them to avoid it. So that is a success. All right, guys, you are one success or fail away. It looks like Mavra is needed to step up, or any one of you could give it a shot. Actually,
No, it's alright. I got it. You know, I've been noticing these birds circling around us, and apparently the literal bird we have in our party didn't think it was too suspicious. But you know what? I find them incredibly suspicious.
okay.
I want to know what these birds are up to. I want to know what their intentions are.
Interesting.
Maver is trying for an insight check into the suspicious birds circling us.
Okay. What is with these rolls, guys?
That's a great question.
Listen here, roll 20.
Does she want to use?
Listen
her
here,
inspiration?
roll 20.
Does she want to use her inspiration or anything else on this? Other resource?
Yeah, she will.
Okay.
That's much better.
Holy shit!
There we go.
Maver coming in clutch.
A natural 20. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, we'll give her a little bonus. Normally that's 2 check marks. So I'll say that not only does her insight tell her that these birds are not necessarily malicious, but they are special. And she's taking a careful look at them, and she realizes that these yellow and red-tailed hawks, orange and red-tailed hawks, are a rare bird that when they can actually mate with griffins. These are quite large birds, hawks. They can mate with griffins and produce a special type of griffin that is much prized by some. But not only that, the fact that they're here probably means, these rare birds, probably means that someone put them here. And they may be, even though they're wild, they may actually be somebody's early warning system. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Cool. Well, it takes you guys a bit of extra time. You had a few delays along the way. Oh, don't forget to give Maver her 4 temp HP as well. You had a few delays along the way, but a little bit battered from traveling, and a little bit wearied, but nonetheless, all in one piece, you make your way down the foothills and into the Whisperwood, where that sense that the trees are constantly muttering in the wind is stronger than ever. Something about the leaves here tends to make it sound like they are conspiring. But it's not an aggressive sound, but more peaceful in the Whisperwood. To Akiri, it sounds like home. Something catches your eyes as you are journeying, which is that there are traces of intrusion into the Whisperwood. There are various camps where fires have been built, more than you would expect to see here in the wilderness. And it looks like they were fairly large encampments. Every now and then you come across a bit of cloth or an old boot that's been thrown out. And there are marks on the trees. Marks on the trees. And Akiri, you will notice that some of these marks are actually up high on the trunks. Like someone would have had to climb or fly in order to reach them. Mostly like a big X slashed into the tree trunks with some sort of weapon. Clearly, these are groups that are marking pathways through the Whisperwood. It is really in the densest part of the Whisperwood, where the trees are thickest and tallest, that Akiri navigates you guys toward. And without her guidance, you would really never have found this spot as you come to the outskirts of the Skyweaver clan settlement. The first thing you'll notice is that there were these old bundles, mostly picked apart. Some of you may remember them as these erroneously made burial bundles. This traditional aarakocra sky burial spots. But you've become more aware of structures high up in the trees, through a layer of mist that creeps in from the swamps and rolls down the foothills. And then a figure, a humanoid-sized figure with broad wings, an eagle-like aarakocra, will fly overhead and let out a not entirely unfriendly warning cry. Akiri, you will recognize this person. Actually, several of you will recognize him, but you'll immediately recognize the golden eagle aarakocra Seeker.
Hey!
The Aarakocran scout for the clan will swoop down to a branch and look you guys over with a fierce eye. And he says, "Hey," back to you. Akiri, you've returned.
Yeah! It's been a long time.
He has these golden feathers over his head and shoulders, but they've started to fade with age. Just started. And he'll look over the rest of the companions and he says, "Some of your friends are familiar, others new."
Vapos will just wave very awkwardly.
Yeah, we picked up a couple other people on the way.
Seer,
How's it been? How's home?
No, okay.
sorry, we couldn't hear.
Yeah, my husband's love. Hi, Secure. Yeah, we picked up some other people on the way.
Okay.
How's home been?
He swoops down lower, and you can now see as he rests pretty even with you, Vapos. He kind of, almost because you spoke up or seemed awkward, he swoops close to you. This guy is really big. He's easily the largest aarakocra you've ever met. As they tend to be kind of slight in build, this golden eagle aarakocra is kind of large and he's kind of he's over 6 feet tall and well built, with these huge wingspan that he has to tuck in amongst the trees as he swoops down and fixes you with this fierce eye and says, "They can all be trusted."
Akiri nods her head very vigorously.
Bored.
Okay, somebody's fucking bored in the back there. What was that?
What was the question again?
He says, "I will go and warn Us of your coming." And he takes flight.
Okay, we'll be right there.
So you guys follow him a bit, and you are at the base of the treetop village. As soon as it oh, did everything crash? Can you hear me?
Yep, can still hear you.
It may crash at any second because I changed the map view.
That's a huge map.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, Max, I didn't get a chance to look at it before.
Okay. Well, as you approach, you are going to have this moment where you're looking up into the trees, and there's all these delightful bird cries and giggles, laughter, and shouts of delight. As all of these, as all the children, aarakocran children are out, and several of them swoop down toward Akiri, screaming with delight and calling her hero of the Skyweavers. These are some of the kids that Bella, Akiri, Mavra, Bref, you guys helped save, are among them. You spot Quaff and Urk, and you see Akiri's parents, Menonai and Akiramid, flying overhead amongst the structures in the trees, and calling out a welcome. And you see and hear Shadir, kind of last of the troop, swoop down to a branch and just smile.
I'm curious.
Not from like.
Sorry.
Akiri is.
Akiri is very excited to see her family, and she's like
who you sat with at lunch,
just
is important.
squealing with joy as she
who
jumps
you are.
between
Who are you?
like her family and the other members of her clan,
basically like
and
high school kid.
she's especially excited to see
like,
Shakir.
just
Okay. You also see amongst them a number of Pygmiphians. Thanks, Kenny. Which are these colorful, pygmy-sized griffins, crossbred with those hawks.
Akiri is fucking delighted by those.
And they seem to have made pets out of these creatures. There's a whole bunch of them, and as you are suffused with delight, your heart tells you, or Zhurk tells you in your heart, that a special egg hatched today.
Is that
Aww.
It's the second wyvern egg hatched today, far in the distance on Stray's ship. But that thought may be lost in the incredible shuffle. Everyone's swooping down, and they're not. They mostly can't lift you guys up, but they will take your burdens, direct you toward the lifting platform, so those of you who can't fly can be lifted up into the trees and join them. And it's well into the evening now. In fact, it's getting dark. But the treetop village is lit up by all of these wonderful lanterns. Mostly enchanted, a few of them full of fireflies, enchanted fireflies, or what looks like that. You might recognize those lanterns, Akiri, as coming from Madame Lumiere's curiosity shop. I don't have the nighttime map. This is a free version from Cartographic Curiosities. Thank you very much. But it is really quite a beautiful sight. Eventually, you are, as you guys are lifted up, your horses are put in these hidden kind of stables down at the base of the main central-ish tree, and hidden with branches, given plenty of food. You are all taken up on the lifting platform, where the entire clan can really get a sense of you. Of course, you're here amongst the bridges and platforms up in the trees. The aarakocras and their pets themselves are mostly just flying around. They don't usually use the bridges often, but it seems to be there for the sake of guests like you. The ancient aarakocra Oos. Oos kind of hobbles up to you in the main chamber and looks over you and says, "Welcome home, Akiri, and friends old and new."
She's gonna give him a
Yeah, you
big
know that.
hug. A gentle hug.
Be
The
back
big
in your
gentle hug.
presence.
Do you still have those gifts I gave you?
I
Might even
honestly
have
don't
streaming.
remember.
Well, no matter. He flicks his long faded red tail feathers. Well, you are welcome to stay. What brings you here? I hope it is. I hope it is for pleasant reasons. Although we are happy to see you.
Oh, it is this time.
Good. I had worried that the vineyard folk had brought concern upon you.
No,
I
we're
didn't
still
know-
okay.
No, we're so what?
Like,
No, we're still okay.
My sister and my dad
We're still
were too,
okay.
but you had- I was like,
My friends
you guys
have
have to
been.
get onto this website. I'm not
We've
sure
been
what to do.
careful.
Oh, good. Well, we have had to keep mostly to ourselves these past couple of weeks. But what we have is yours. Let us lay out a bit of a feast. Kiri is home. So they are going to make merry. You do notice it's a little more muted than the last time you were here. But all of the aarakocras are very curious, very especially the children. More the young children than the adults. Very curious. Each one of you, especially Vapos, who's totally unfamiliar, they are going up to you. They are kind of, peeking at you from each side of the face. They are kind of touch, all your stuff, especially anything glowing magically. They are just really interested in you. The adults are a little more reserved in general, but they lay out a smattering of all kinds of delicious foods and fruits, nuts, small animals that they've cooked up, and pretty soon a little impromptu party is happening. But they keep it all indoors, which is again different from the way that you were used to last time. Might be because, actually it's a little strange because it was colder last time you were here. And now the evenings are a little bit warmer, but they're all keeping it indoors.
If I'm gonna approach, is the gentleman who said that they were gonna warn of our approach, are they here?
Sikur?
Yeah, is Sicker here?
If you are keeping a sharp eye out, you may see him. He doesn't stay long. He is almost always patrolling. So he will look in, he'll partake of some of the food, he'll eat a tree rat, and then he'll be off again. But you can catch him if you keep your sharp eye out.
I'd like to try and do so. Stop him at some point and ask, Sicker, I am delighted as always to be in this place. Your home is beautiful and restful and delightful, but is there a reason everyone is staying inside in such fine weather?
You're asking Seeker?
Yes.
He gazes at you for a moment. And instead of answering, he asks you a question. Have you shaken the were-tiger's curse?
I have, yes.
Congratulations. That didn't work. He said, oh, that's because I did something stupid. That would be why it didn't work. I'm trying to turn this night. Sorry, I'm wasting time on some stupid bullshit here. There, that's nightimey.
Nice.
Ish. He says, they have been seeking us. They know where we are and would enslave our kind once more.
Who? Who is they?
The vineyard keepers.
Ah, yes, of course. I do not blame you for taking reasonable precautions in this way. I wish it were not necessary.
There is grave danger that they will find us. And then I do not know if we can stay here. He looks over, and you, Ref, notice that the snowy owl aarakocra is staring straight at you, the two of you, and she's closer than you realized. She has a habit of staying so still. Not, she doesn't turn invisible, but she sort of forget that she's there. Saya, the shaman, is looking at you, and her gaze is penetrating, and you can tell she's heard what you guys have been saying. What'd you say?
I say I wave back. Or just wave and say hi.
The owl, aarakocra, nods slowly in response. She says, we will have to make preparations. We did not fly far enough, it seems.
If there's anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to ask.
She says, she points with long, slightly curly with age talon and says, you must ask Oos. He will decide what, if anything, is to be done.
It's understandable. Thank you for the guidance.
She nods at you again. Are you going to ask Oos about it?
I think I'm going to pull Bella in as well, just because I don't want to commit the group to anything without someone else present.
Right. Okay.
Bella, we need to talk to Oos.
Okay. Why?
Well, there's some people, and I think they make wine, and they want to make the wine out of these aarakocra.
Oh dear God.
Yes, it's very upsetting, and I've kind of indicated that if they need help, that they should ask us, and apparently Oos is the one who makes that kind of decision.
Well, I suppose while we're in the area, we might as well.
Follow-up question, who's Oos?
He's that one right there, and I'll point
Sorry,
to.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oos is the really ancient aarakocra who greeted you. He has a faded red tail. While that is happening, Akira, you are swarmed by aarakocra, but especially Menonai and Akira Mead, your parents, and Shadir is just always at your elbow, just kind of smiling. The frillbacks are all clustered together, eating together. They're talking and laughing and asking about your adventures.
And she is happily telling them. Starting from the last time she was here, all the way up to here again. It's gonna take a while. It's also heavily edited to not sound as dangerous as it actually was.
Anytime it starts getting to sound a little dangerous, they start to look really alarmed and like they might try to forbid you from leaving.
Exactly. She knew exactly that. She absolutely knew that was going to happen. So she's like, "Yeah, no, we are editing this very severely."
Your parents, by the way, nobody is bringing up the fact that you kind of snuck away last time.
Oh, good.
They don't mention that at all. Carefully avoid the topic. Okay.
I would also like to add that Vapos probably hasn't actually interacted with any kind of like remotely happy children. Like the only children he's probably ever interacted with were in the cult. Mm-hmm. And so he is absolutely mortified by the attention of these children and has no idea what to do.
They are constantly touching his hair. And they're kids, so they don't know how to ask permission.
He is probably just frozen stiff, just like maybe if I stand still, they'll go away.
They're like, ooh, it's like water. I mean, talking about the really little kids are doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like frozen stiff. That's pretty hilarious. The somewhat decrepit Oos, when you guys try to talk to him. So this is all happening actually in this sort of feasting area over here. And when you guys approach Oos about the issue, he will go and kind of sit in this throne-like construction. It almost looks more like a nest, honestly, that he has going there. And he sits and leans on the cushions, kind of chews a bite of food that's in his mouth. Have I broken? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. And he says, "So you want to know how you can help us?"
I'm a firm believer that no one should be made into wine against their wishes.
He says, I think you might be a little confused, young man.
Well, regardless, we understand that you're in a little bit of trouble.
This one, he points at Akiri across the room, swarmed by family and friends. She has not told you how the aarakocra came to the material plane in the first place.
To be fair, Max, I barely know myself.
Well, you might remember that they came as slaves. They were taken as kind of fancy pets by these rich folk. Rich and powerful and unscrupulous folk who took them to work the vineyards, in many cases kept their wings clipped, and Us explains, we were not the best choice of workers for them, but indeed symbols of wealth. Simply nothing more than expensive and fancy pets to these people. And when we escaped, I suppose that it was so hard for us, but we ended up here, hidden in the Whisperwood. But recently they have been seeking us, sending troops, squadrons into the forest. They must know we are somewhere here. How they have found us out, I cannot guess. But it is a frightening prospect. I think that Sicker may be right, and that we should prepare to leave our home. But we do not wish to leave our home. It is unfair. That is the terrible choice and the terrible problem that sits before us. I am hoping that they will give up and go away. But we have a few ways of knowing if they are coming. And I believe that if they do come, we will have at least a little time to prepare.
If it's not rude to ask, where are the Swordwings in all this? You'd think that they would have a vested interest in preventing any of your kind from being enslaved again.
Us kind of looks in your direction with a milky gaze. The red-tailed aarakocra kind of adjusts in his little nest throne and fixes his feathers and seems thoughtful, and he says, "Yes, you would think so. Especially as I know their leader of old. They freed many of our kind. In fact, it was a coordinated raid by the Swordwings that allowed us to escape in the first place." And he looks at you at the other eye and he says, "But something has changed with those people. Those knights, once so well deservedly respected in the Wildlands. They have to start coming under question."
Well, I hope it goes without saying that if there's anything that we can do to help, we're entirely at your service.
Yeah.
As it happens, we're on our way to a meeting with the Swordwings ourselves, and I'd be more than happy to advocate with them if that was something that you would want me to do.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It is. Yes. Well, one thing you might do. Yes, we need might of arms. We are a peaceful settlement. We have few amongst us with any skill at arms, and only one spellcaster still lives in our settlement. Well, two, technically, but our shaman is a peaceful lady. She is not a warrior. But in any case, the other spellcaster is but a boy. But in any case, you see, it is their leader, which I mistrust. Not the individual knights of the Swordwings. They are all noble and brave and true. And I truly believe that any one of them would lay down their lives to protect us. And they have in the past. But perhaps partially because of this meeting, which you yourselves are headed toward, they have not been quite as helpful of late. And I think it has more to do with Dacio.
Can you think of any reason why he wouldn't want to help, or is it a complete mystery to you?
There is a darkness that has taken over Dacio's mind. Yes, I do not hesitate to tell you, Bella, for I know that you are good of heart. You saved Shadir and brought several back to us that we had lost. So I know that I can tell you this in confidence.
Of course. No, nothing that you say goes any further than this conversation.
He leans forward. Well, be careful in the way in which you tell Akiri, or indeed any other aarakocra. He is pitching his voice so that only the two of you can really hear easily. Others can make perception rolls if you want to hear this conversation. Be careful in the way that you speak to this, for Dacio is as a god to many of us. To many of the younger aarakocra especially. Well, you can pick up on it, Vapos, no problem. Even with a child literally sticking his talon in your ear.
I'm gonna say that Akiri is otherwise busy.
Okay. That makes sense. That will, yeah. You're kind of reforging a connection with your family.
Yeah.
He says, Dacio is as a god to many of us. He has led the Swordwings and made the aarakocra out as noble knights, not pretty slaves for these two-legged, excuse me, those that have harmed us. But I digress. The darkness has taken over his mind. He has turned from a pure vision of good works and noble deeds, and I don't know what he seeks exactly, but I fear it is not to his responsibility as the most powerful aarakocra in the material plane. I think I know this much. It is the fate of one frilled to gain insight from Alarka, the great bard of astrology, into how Dacio might be influenced back towards the light. I fear he is tired. Tired of this world. Tired of living. For he is one who has lived many, many lifetimes. He was ancient when I was but a chick in the egg. I even fear. And this is where you really need the perception check to hear Vapos, because he's whispering.
Mm-hmm.
But you do hear it. I even fear that he seeks nothing less than his own end. And I fear the comradeship he seeks with those who would grant him his wish. So, it is the fate, I believe, of one frilled to turn him away from this path. For there is much good, not that just that he can do, but that we all in the Wildlands need him to do before he rests. And having said this, Oos kind of collapses back into the throne, looking very small and frail, a very old bird who has expended a great deal of thought on this matter.
Well, I'll leave him alone at this point.
Okay.
Sir, you honor us with your trust. Thank you.
You do honor to us all, he says, almost really into his own chest feathers, by seeking the good of the Skyweaver clan. A new generation that does not remember slavery has been born, has been hatched, and can now fly free in the world. Excuse me. Mavra will
Backing
notice...
away from him.
Okay. Okay. Well, as the sun has set and the dinner trails off and the adults are laughing and talking, many of the younger aarakocra are, despite their excitement at having new guests in the treetop village, they're going to start getting sleepy, their beaks drooping, and they are going to be shuffled off to their bed nests. Vapos is finally going to get some relief. And you can eat whatever you've been too distracted to consume up until now.
All right.
Right. Any other things you guys want to do? Role play, conversations you want to have?
Akiri is going to keep a very close eye on her brother as the night goes by, just kind of like judging
ends up being high quality.
how he is.
Really?
Okay.
And if I need to roll for that or what.
You're going to get some information even without a roll. Why don't you make a roll so we can see the degree to which make an insight roll. Just so that we can see the degree to which you are going to pick up on anything. Pretty good. You're going to notice that Shadir, he just keeps trying to keep physical contact with you. He's putting his hand on your arm, or he gave you a hug. He's a little quiet. I mean, Shadir's always been a little quiet. But you keep noticing that he keeps looking out the window. And all the windows here are also entrance and egress for those who can fly. But he keeps looking out at the night sky and then back to you or his plate, and he eats sparingly. You definitely can tell that something's on his mind.
Cool. Towards the end of the night, as soon as she can, she's going to pull her brother aside,
because, I was just
sit him down, and be like, "All right, what's up?"
So she pulls him aside, within the feasting nest.
She's probably gonna pull him aside to another nest.
Okay, so this is after they're cleaning up and everyone's starting to go to bed or dust themselves off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you pull him. Maybe you're in your old room. So you can pick which nest that is. Or we can just say it's here.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, so that's your family's nest, and you and Shadir get some time alone, and he looks at you, and you again, you remember you left him. He was pretty unwell. He says, "Akiri, I keep thinking I miss Ekark.
Yeah, I understand.
I can... I can still feel it. You remember that place. The
And
place.
Kiri,
But I guess we'll.
They put me there. They were trying to take us there. And I'm still half there. I've learned to live with it. I went to the Whisperwood Sanctuary and I found a book. Well, it's not quite my condition, but it's kind of about those who are partially in another world, and I'm not partially in another world, but I'm partially in a different place in this one. I don't know, it's strange, it doesn't make any sense. It's this world and it's not. It's the Scorching Mountain.
and Kiri nods and shivers a little bit.
You know, I'm pretty sure that the Vineyard Keepers, their troops are led by... I'm pretty sure their troops are led by the Scarred Earth. They have some kind of unholy treaty, agreement.
And Kiri shivers again. That unfortunately would make sense.
I don't know. I have dreams of creatures called Dao that sail the gravel ocean. Earth Ganassi that live deep below this world even? There's these vast hollow spaces and creatures that are hollow on the inside, like those that you fought to save me. And I feel like there's someone I'm supposed to talk to. Someone that is supposed to give me guidance. There's something missing. Most of my memory has returned.
That's good, at least.
I've learned to live with this. But I know there's someone I'm supposed to talk to help me. I'm just not quite sure who it is.
That triggers a little bit of a memory for me. Does that sound... That's familiar, right?
It should be.
I mean, wasn't there something we were supposed to give him when we got here?
Was there... My brain's not working well tonight.
Maybe something from the Calamity League?
Were we supposed to give him a coin?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't remember that at all.
Also check your notes in game notes.
Oh, that's right. Akiri nods at her brother and says, Yeah, there's a couple that we might.
That's
We have a couple options. We have the
Yeah.
frog talker, who's this
I'm
little
sorry.
goblin witch.
Honestly, whenever
in a swamp.
I feel
Oh, yeah. A frog talked to me the other day.
That's probably from her then.
That's so weird. You know her?
Of her. I don't. We haven't met personally, but we've known of her. I've known about her for a while.
Oh man, this is super weird.
The other one is the Savage Seer was a Larka, right? That's
okay.
No,
there's a different one.
different character.
Okay. And then the other one was the Savage Seer.
What? I've read about her. What about her?
Yeah. I honestly don't fucking remember off the top of my head. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, she's the one.
We're just
who...
supposed to connect them up.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, we were told to connect them up by the astrologer back in Arkney. I don't know if we really have a lot of information as to why, just that it's supposed to happen.
Gotcha, okay.
And also, we kind of overheard some agents of the Nethros saying that they needed us to not do that.
That's right.
All right. So he says, yeah, I've read some stuff about some of these people. This sounds right. I think I'm supposed to. I don't know. I think you're supposed to take me somewhere eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we are.
Wow.
We met up with an astrologian recently, and he gave us a lot of advice.
Oh. Well, should we make a plan then?
I mean,
That's somebody laughing at the plans of mice and men.
I love my
In
husband.
fairness,
However,
given how our plans usually turn out, that's fair.
yeah, that is. Listen, okay, Nico has the best and worst timing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Akiri nods and says, we're headed to the we're headed to the Sword Wings meeting next. If you want to come with us.
Have you?
That sounds dangerous. Do you think I should come all the way there with you?
I'd like it if you could.
Mom and Dad will hate it.
Sorry, what was that, Max? You cut the first part of that cut out.
Mom and Dad will hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But I don't know. I've never done anything like that, and I guess I'm a little scared. You know?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like timing
What's
between.
the word?
You're doing a great job. Under the circumstances.
But yeah.
So,
I don't
The main
think-
thing.
I
that
agree
he's
they're not
got
gonna like it, but I
on,
think we really should probably do
on
it.
YouTube.
Okay. Well, whatever you want. Kiri, you've always taken care of me. I guess I can accept that you're gonna keep doing that.
And you've always taken care of
But,
me, so it's time I return the favor.
how did-
I don't think we can say that after you saved my life.
but his
Akira's
main
gonna
thing
give him
now
the
is
biggest
to
hug.
show brain.
She has missed him terribly.
It's only when you give him a big ol' hug that you realize his hands are shaking. And there is something weird about him. Like he's only half there. Like physically.
Give me just a second. I'm
Um,
reading through my
but, like-
spells real quick.
Okay. By the way, Vapos, look at your character.
That's
Yep.
that's
about
amazing.
He's surrounded by these guys.
That is phenomenal.
That is adorable, and he has absolutely no idea what to do.
Okay. Shadir says, if you want, I could meet you somewhere after the meeting, if you prefer. Either way.
What Akira is going
Ooh.
to do is
I'm watching it right.
Akira is going to take
No,
she's going to
oh,
take
jeez.
half of her diamond dust.
Blender is.
And she's
Mostly
going
because it's known for
to
being ridiculous.
she's going to take Shadir's hands in hers along with half of her diamond dust, which is 100 gems.
The thing
Oh,
is,
sorry,
like,
which
you
is
know,
100 gold
it's
worth,
one of
by
the
the
things
way.
where it's like
Wow.
make up
And
for
taking
like,
a deep
subpar
breath, she's going to say,
graphics.
I'm gonna do something real
so,
quick.
but
I
so
wanna,
good that, like,
I
he
wanna
doesn't- I don't
help
care.
Shadir. And I think I have a way of doing that. So just give me a second. And her hands are also shaking.
Okay. He says,
And
I've seen the army that's coming for the Swordwings.
then we'll need your information.
I know. I was,
Okay.
Akiri is going to
Which the
send
Astartes video did an
a
excellent job.
quick prayer to Zhuorg.
Okay.
Here comes
And then she's going to cast Greater Restoration on Shadir.
Okay. Greater Restoration. So what is your intent here? You imbue a creature you touch with positive energy to undo a debilitating effect. Reduce the target's exhaustion level by 1 or end one of the following effects on the target. Charmed or petrified, curse, including the target's attunement to a cursed magic item. Any reduction of the target's ability towards one effect, reducing the target's hit point maximum. Okay. Roll a D100 and add your number of times you've participated in a Zhuorg feast or prayed at a Zhuorg shrine in the last month. And I'll allow you to add one for blessing those corpses. Very.
Okay. I think it's only been like once, maybe twice in the past month.
Actually, this would be a D20 roll, not a D.
D20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'll also let you add your cleric level. So yeah. Cleric level plus that. Plus D20. Actually, not your cleric level. Sorry. I meant to say your proficiency bonus, which is due to your cleric level. This powerful glow flows from you into Shadir. It rises in intensity, and then it peters out. And he starts coughing, drops his little booklet and picks it up and says, I don't think that worked.
Akiri is scowling.
Here's the creepy part. When he coughs, sand comes out, like fine dust.
You know who?
Lovely.
Sorry.
Akiri is staring at it wide-eyed.
Okay. He looks up at you and he says, sorry, sis. Well, I guess it's not going to be that easy. I might have a little diamond dust around, but I don't know if I can replace all that.
And she's got more on her, actually.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just... he opens up his composition book. Maybe I'll just play a little song to calm my nerves and think about what I'll need to pack. He starts playing a beautiful, sleepy lullaby on his little lute. And it tugs at your heartstrings because It reminds you of the tune that he was playing. Or did he have a violin? I can't remember if he had a lute or a violin. I think it was a lute.
I don't remember either.
It's been a while. It reminds you a little bit of the sad tune he was playing when you rescued him from capture. Just before he was partially teleported. Or plane shifted, or whatever was happening there, you're not sure. Regardless, he has agreed to either meet up with you or go with you.
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
As he starts playing, Akiri is going to snuggle up next to him and just kind of press her face into his feathers.
The two of you are in the bed nest that you shared as little children. And he'll pretty much play you off to sleep if you're so inclined. Still caked in the dust of travel.
She can take a bath.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, as we're kind of settling in for the night, is Vapos or what's our sleeping situation here?
They are going to offer anyone who wants a hammock, which are over here. They actually have a number of them set up for guests. And it's not far from either the stairs or the lifting platform.
Okay. Yeah, well, Vapos would definitely take one.
Okay.
And is anyone else going to be sleeping in there, or do people have other plans?
Yeah. No, I mean, hopefully this time I will not freak out and turn into a tiger. Otherwise, yes, I have no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to plan to sleep in there. There's no place that's more comfortable around here.
Okay. Once we're kind of alone and not surrounded by other aarakocra and stuff, I think Vapos is just going to kind of ask both of you, so is this what it's always like?
Aww!
I mean, they're always excited to see Akiri come home. Or were you talking about your fan club?
I mean, that was part of it, but I was more just thinking the general energy. I mean, just everyone seems so happy here. And that's not really something that I have a lot of experience with. You know, when I was growing up, we were all united by a sense of purpose and duty, but not really much else.
Honestly, Vapos, if anything, I'd say that they're a little more subdued than they were last time. Think of it as a little respite, you know? We've been seeing a lot of kind of dark things happening in the world, and sometimes it's nice to stop and think about the fact that there's also happiness and peace, even if we don't always have a chance to see it in our line of business.
Yeah, I suppose I don't know. I'm not really sure what I expected, but it definitely wasn't anything like this.
Yeah, I can see how it might be a little surprising, but I think that, you know, just enjoy as much of it as you can. I know that
Yeah,
it's
give
yeah.
yourself time to adjust.
Right. It's hard because I don't really have I don't have a frame of reference for this. You know, for me, like happiness has never really been part of the equation. It's always just been the next goal, the next objective, the next thing that needs to be dealt with, whether that was when I was working for them or when I was working against them. It was always goal oriented. But the idea of just existing and just being happy, it's strange.
I mean, if anything, I think that that's the reason why we're doing all of these things that we're doing. You know, you have to think, after all of this is over, one way or another, what's our end goal? And the way I always think of it is that we do whatever small part we can to make sure that there are more havens like this in the world. There are more people who can enjoy this kind of life. And it's nice, I think, to remind myself of that instead of just getting all caught up in all the frantic, panic over the fact that the world's about to end.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought of it that way. I mean, honestly, I've not thought past what comes or what happens after. I've just been so focused on what needs to get done that I don't know. I've never really thought about why it needs doing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's easy to get sort of caught up in the excitement, but it's important to have in mind your goal. It's important to remember why we're doing what we're doing. And we're doing it so that places like this can continue to exist, so that people like this can continue to exist.
I suppose maybe you're right. I'm honestly not sure. I mean, I suppose I've been a bit selfish in that way. It's always been about what I need and what I have been struggling against. But maybe that is a better way to view things.
Hopefully it'll at least be helpful. I mean, I think it's easy to lose track of what our goals are. So, I know that tonight was a little bit difficult for you with all of the attention you were getting. But I think that, look on the bright side. This is a place where you are interesting and cherished, and I don't know. That's not something you get to experience that often.
You're certainly right about that. This is very new to me. I hope I didn't offend anyone tonight.
I sincerely doubt it.
It. Well, we should probably get some sleep. I'll think more about what you said.
Indeed. Okay. Is there anything else that people want to do before going to sleep? Okay.
No, nothing here.
Okay. Well, as night grows dark, the lanterns are dimmed, a storm rolls in. Distant thunder in the mountains, and rain and wind, but the Skyweaver clan has constructed these things, these nests, so marvelously that they sway in the wind, and the hammocks that most of you are in sway with them, so that you never are tossed out, even as the tree that you're in bends many, many feet in one direction or another. And it's peaceful as the rain pours down. You're dry and warm, not in soaked tents. And you all have a bit of solace this evening. You're going to refresh everything. You're going to get back up to 3 hit dice. Your items regain a charge as you, the next day. Bella.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
You dream of this other place. You wake up in that dark place, far away. Something's wrong with the sound. What the fuck? So I just clicked a playlist and it played all the songs in the playlist? How is that an option?
What?
Yeah. It played all the songs simultaneously in the playlist. That's like a new feature.
That's terrible.
I don't know how. I must have accidentally clicked the setting to that. Well, I know I can see why you would do that, so you can like combine, sound effects, ambiances, but oh my god, that was weird. It really took me by surprise. So it's not quite that cacophonous. But you are once again in the middle of this multicolored glass platform surrounded by darkness and stars and shapes. There's something about the vastness of it all moves you deeply. You feel like weeping. You start to look up and you start to realize the edges of the platform around you. Are you seeing this on the map?
Yes, I am.
You're aware of some kind of pillar, or not pillar because it's moving, like a scaly tail that's wrapped in like bed sheets or something off to the left. And you're aware of like a wooden bridge leading somewhere toward the southerly direction. There are vast shapes moving around you, and tiny shapes, or maybe you're tiny. You're aware of a presence, several presences watching you, like an audience.
Am I able to do anything?
What would you like to do?
I would like to start singing.
You start singing, and the words that come out are words from a book you wrote, one of your travel books. Or maybe you start to listen to yourself. No, it's the opening words of the travel book for the Wildlands that you started writing. And then you wake up.
All right, then.
Akiri.
Oh no. I'm in danger.
I might crash here, guys. Wait a minute. How did that... Okay. Did the map just change, guys? No. No, it's just struggling to keep up with me. All right, I might break everything here. Akiri, you dream of a hooded figure. She glances upward as you fly down through the clouds, and you're aware it's a female peacock aarakocra. And she quickly looks down as you fly closer. She seems to be at the foot of a giant statue. And the foot of the statue seems to shift. And you start to realize that the ground below this statue is moving. Something burrows up from below. It reminds you of a creature from a fight you recently engaged in, but bigger, more terrifying.
Yeah.
The female peacock aarakocra doesn't seem to notice. She steps onto a pathway that leads up amongst the overgrown grasses. Do you want to try to do anything in the dream?
She's gonna try to call out to Alarka.
You call out, she pauses as if struck. She whispers, "I can help you, Frilt. And then you wake up.
Great.
Vapos.
Yes.
Your dream is chaotic, darkened and bright as the lightning flashes in the storm outside. You feel a burning on your body, and you see it. You see an impossible thing in your dream, Vapos. A spot where fire, water, earth, and wind all meet. And instead of blasting apart, freeze in place in an eerie stillness. But there's something else within you, Vapos. A stillness that is not eerie. A peace that you've never known before. You're dimly aware of a choking, sulfurous smell. It's not because Bref farted. It's some other
This
reason.
time.
This time. And bubbling magma and heat all around you. This place is wrong. But within you, you feel a right. Would you like to do anything in the dream as you stand before this impossible place?
Yes. I want to try to draw the water from the stillness and send it into the magma to try to cool it.
You reach forth with your control water. You know you can do this. And you realize that you do not know the right move. And then you wake up. Is it just playing the same song over and over? Bref. Your dream is, relatively speaking, rather simple. Swinging in a hammock in the storm triggers a dream memory for you. A memory so powerful it fills you with both fear and a sense of nostalgia. Peace in familiarity. As you swing in the hammock, as the tree swings back and forth, just as you used to do on board ship before you started your current adventures. And then you wake up. And with all that possibility, we are going to end tonight's session on this note. Vapos,
Yes.
you have a new seal of power.
Ooh.
You may decide where on your body it appears and what it looks like. But the seal of seeking solace will allow you to spend a hit die to allow your stillness of mind feature to work more effectively for yourself and all allies you can see.
Oh, man.
So there you go. Is it stillness of mind? What am I thinking of? The one that lets you remove conditions.
Yeah, that's stillness of mind.
Yep.
And
Okay.
one effect on yourself that causes you to be charmed or frightened.
That's it. Okay, guys. I'll send you the details later, Vapos, but that's basically what it is. Experience points. You travel to Hex, so you get 100 experience points per level for that. There was some great role-playing from everybody this session, so please refresh your inspiration and take a bonus, we'll say 25 experience points per level for that. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thank you all for playing.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.
It was a good session, a good low-key session.
Yeah, it was cool.
They can happen.
It was nice. Especially after last week.
Well, there were some heavy feels tonight, as Taladar says.
There were indeed heavy feels.
Taladar wants you to know, y'all, that was really some great RP. Oh, thank you, Taladar. All right, guys. Good night, and until next time, do some fun stuff. Love you all. Thank you, Jeremy, player of Breath. Thank you to M, player of Akiri. Thank you to Kirsten, player of Bella. Thank you to Corey, player of Vapos. And thank you to Danielle, who couldn't make it, player of Mavra. Y'all are awesome. I love you. Good night. Until next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Night, guys.
Thanks, Max. That was great.
You're welcome. Thank you.